Hey guys, it's me, Lo-Fi Yu-Gi-Oh, coming at you with a top 10 of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards from when I was a kid. So these cards were never really competitive by any means, but meant a lot to me when I was a kid and still mean a lot to me to this day. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So my number 10 is Maneater Bug. It was between this and Wall of Illusion, but I went with this because in the end it's a better staller, at least like back in the day it was. And I think everyone has fond memories of just setting Maneater Bug and waiting for your opponent to attack so you could destroy one of their big monsters. But I really liked it when Bakura used it in the anime, and he like used his Millennium Ring to bring it to life and attack Pegasus's minions when he went with Tristan to save Mokuba. He was just like, "Foolish mortals, prepare to enter the Shadow Realm." I don't know, I loved Bakura, and as a kid I just wanted to like use his cards, like even like the like really bad ones, like the hand and like the painting or whatever. I don't know, not that Maneater Bug is like that crazy of an OP card. But yeah, that's my number 10. So my number 9 is Armored Lizard, and back in the day before I got Red Eyes, I would always use this to like proxy it in. So I'd just be like, "I summon my Red Eyes Blue Dragon," and my brother would be like, "What the fuck?" Even though like it's not even a dragon, it's a reptile, and it's only got 1,500 attack points. I was stupid as a kid. But then I saw Joey use it in the anime, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, I have one of the anime cards that is sick." So I always liked it for that, because Joey always had like a bunch of like weird vanilla monsters. Like none of them really had any synergy with each other. But I don't know, I just have fond memories using this card back in the day, so that's why it's at my number 9. So my number 8 is Mystic Horseman. Now back in the day, I was a huge fan of Battle Axe, but I could never get my hands on it, and I still to this day don't have one. So Mystic Horseman was like the closest I felt to feeling like Kaiba back in the day. So I would just summon it, and I'd be like, "I summon my Mystic Horseman," and my friend would just be like, "Dude, it only has 1,300 attack points. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "But it's a centaur, and it's gonna kick your ass." And he'd be like, "Okay, I summon Pale Beast." So it wasn't like the strongest monster by any means, but I always just like loved its artwork. I mean, it's a vanilla monster. There's no real effect or anything tactical about using a Mystic Horseman, but I just thought it had like a cool card art. That's mostly why I like it. And that's why it's at my number 8. So my number 7 is Breaker the Magical Warrior. Right off the bat, his card art to me is just like a cooler version of Dark Magician, with like a sweet cape and like nice crimson armor. He also has like a built-in MST effect, and he could be a 1900 beat stick if he wanted to be. So I don't know, back in the day I used to use him in like rank 4 toolbox decks where I would like Goblinberg him onto the field and then pop a card with his effect and then go into a rank 4. But like I wish he was a warrior monster, because then I could go into like some of the warrior only rank 4s, but unfortunately he's not, even though it says it in the name. Like that always confused me as a kid. Maybe it's different in the Japanese version, but I don't know. It's fucking Breaker. Like, who doesn't love Breaker? So my number 6 is Celtic Guardian, which is honestly my favorite of all of Yugi's monsters, even though he's lost more battles for Yugi than he won. Like, he's usually always just like the first one on the field, just so he could like be blown up by like the first monster, which is kind of unfortunate. But I've like card art alone, I've just always loved his look. Like, he reminds me a lot of like Link from Smash Brothers, which was my main back in the day, even though I always lost. I always just loved playing as Link. But yeah, he's got like these cool like shoulder pads and he just like looks. He has like this look in his eye, like he's about to like mess you up. And I've honestly used this card in like Noble Knights, just because some like Obnoxious Celtic Guardian's a good one, and like his other iteration has some pretty good like synergy for like rank 4 plays. But yeah, I've always just loved Celtic Guardian, just because he reminds me of my favorite Smash character. That's pretty much it. So my number 5 is Wing Weaver, and it's mostly due to its beautiful artwork. I mean, it's an angel with 6 wings. Like, it's so beautiful. But it's got amazing stats, especially for like back in the day. Like, unless your opponent had like Blue Eyes White Dragon or like Maneater Bug or Wall of Illusion, they weren't really getting rid of this card easy. I mean, unless you had Dark Hole, I guess, or Raigeki, but no one I knew had Raigeki, so this card was like here to stay. But yeah, it's mostly just due to the artwork, and it was one of like my favorite boss monsters from back in the day. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So my number 4 is Wolf Axe Wielder, and again, it's mostly just due to the artwork, because back in the day I only ever really picked cards with like cool artwork to put in my deck. I guess I was a lot like Joey, because he just like picked cards that he thought looked cool. But I mean, back in the day there were a lot of weird cards. Like there was like this 4-headed Titan card with like a bunch of faces on it. There's like Pale Beast, which was just like a shark man with like 2 faces. And then there was like Ancient Elf, which looked weird, and Trap Master. But Wolf Axe Wielder like looked like a warrior. Like, he looks like Darth Maul with like a wolf's face. Like, he's got like tattoos all over his body. He's got like these bandages on his arms, which I always thought was a cool look. Like in like the Force Unleashed games, where like Starkiller has like these bandages on him and he's like shooting lightning out of his hands. I always thought that looked like that look was like really cool. I don't know why. But yeah, it's just like a really badass wolf warrior. Like, what is there more to say? Like, he's just got a really cool tribal look. So my number 3 is Matassa the Zapper, and just going off the card art alone, he looks like a 6th samurai who just went rogue and is now like on a quest for vengeance or something. I don't know, that's just the vibe I'm getting from him. But his card effect, I love cards that can make more than one attack in a turn. Like, as a kid, I thought that was the most OP shit I've ever seen. Like when Zane summoned Chimera Tech Overdragon in the anime. That shit was like so cool. Like, I lost it as a kid. Like, he was just like, now I can banish 6 of my dragons and summon Chimera Tech Overdragon. Prepare to face oblivion. So that's just how I felt like summoning this card. I would just be like, now prepare for the last monster you'll ever see, Matassa the Zapper. And my friends were like, dude, it only has 1,300 attack points. Yeah, well, not if I use Axe of Despair. Now he's got 2,300, enough to take down your pathetic, I don't know, Force Raider or something. So yeah, it was just like a cool, like, I don't know, I just felt cool like playing him, because he's basically like, if you equip him with the right stuff, he's essentially as strong as a Dark Magician, only he could attack twice, and he can jump on the field like a Beaver Warrior. So that's just why I love him. So my number 2 is Mobius the Frost Monarch, and back in the day, I didn't know anything about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Like at all. Like, I didn't realize this guy was part of an archetype until 2015. And I've been playing this game since like the beginning. Like, not at a competitive level, but I think 2015 or 2014 was when I like entered the competitive scene. So it came as like such a big shock to like see like there were more of Mobius. Like, obviously no one will replace Mobius for me. Like Mobius to me is like a one of a kind. And I even tried to play him in my Monarch deck back in the day. But I mean, there's obviously better Monarch cards, but Mobius will always be my favorite just because he was my ace monster back in the day. Like everyone was like running around with like Blue Eyes or Dark Magician, and Mobius was just like the card I was known for because yeah, his stats weren't as good, but he could pop 2 back row, so you're getting rid of a Sakuretsu armor or a magical cylinder or a Wabaku. Like me and my friends did not have any good trap cards. So we just kind of did like made do with what we had. And we didn't have any like bottomless trap holes at the time or torrential tributes. So this guy, like his summon wasn't getting interrupted, so he didn't have to worry about that. So it's just like a useful card. And when me and my brother would just throw all our commons and build decks from cards we just thought were like the coolest, like Mobius was always like my first pick, just because I wanted my boss monster in my deck. And I just thought his artwork looked cool. Like, he looks like the Winter Soldier with like a sweet cape, and like his armor just like looks insane, like something out of like Dark Souls or something. And he's just like walking through the blizzard like it's nothing, like he's climbing Mount Everest, and he's just like, this is a cakewalk. Like, I don't know, it just like looks so badass to me. Like, I don't know, like even looking at it today, I'm just like so appreciative of its artwork and like what this card means to me. So yeah, that's why he's my number 2. He was just my boss monster back in the day, and I love him for that. So my number 1 favorite card is Kendog, which is kind of a weird choice, I think, because no one in the community ever talks about Kendog. Probably because he has like 0 synergy with like meta decks, and he's got like no competitive uses for him. Like, I've tried to make decks for him, but unless you wanted to go like the tier 4 route of just solidarity and like just equipping as many cards as you can to him, he's really not good at all in today's Yu-Gi-Oh. But back in the day, like he's an 1800 beat stick, which is good, and there is some Beast Warrior support, so he's not like terrible. At least back in the day he wasn't. But like the best I could do for him like today was make like a rank 4 toolbox deck with like Rescue Rabbit. But even then, it's just better to use like Winged Griffin, because Winged Griffin has like 0 defense points, so you could use him with like Masked Chameleon, and you could also use like Goblinberg with Masked Chameleon. So there's just so much more synergy with those 2 cards. So really, you're just better off doing that rather than using Kendog. But from time to time, I'll just make a rank 4 toolbox deck with him, just because like you could win like 20% of the time just on luck alone, and your opponent getting bad draws. But yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Kendog just because he was like my favorite level 4 monster. And he's still to this day like my favorite card of all time. Like, he's just like this badass wolf ninja. Like, not much more to say about that. He just looks cool as hell, and I really love using him. So those were 10 of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards from back in the day. I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed making it. Like if you liked the video, comment any videos you want me to tackle in the future, and subscribe if you want to see more, because I will definitely be making more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. So stay tuned for that. This is Lo-Fi Yu-Gi-Oh signing out. Have a good day and a better tomorrow. Bye.